All right. Sorry about that. Had to do that real quick. See, can I look at this? I don't know how to. Okay. There we go. I can see the chat though. Quick. All right. Then I don't need this in my ear. Okay. Good grief. I'm all kinds of just crazy. I don't know. I would be doing this from our office, the studio, whatever you want to call it. But I worked from home today. I had a sore throat the last couple of days. All right, let's sign into X. All right. Go. Copy. Paste. Next. Password. Copy. Paste. Verification code. Yay, we are in. All right. Profile and delete. Okay. All right. Then sorry, I'm setting stuff up. I know this is kind of boring, but give me this one moment and then we'll start finding some clips. So what do you guys think? That was day. Why wouldn't you have the jury come in for half a day? You knew, they told you it was only going to take 20 minutes to do this, and instead you came in and took a whole day to give them, well, you know, we got to voir these experts. So you're going to need a whole entire day to do that. Well, no, we only need 20 minutes a person. And that's what it was. And yet you still, I don't get it. I don't understand. I don't understand why you needed to do that. It makes no sense. All right, there we go. Got rid of all the stuff I needed to get rid of. And of course we got since we're at home, we do have the dog cam up. We have no dogs in the dog cam, but it is there. Just in case, maybe Mr. Finney will eventually go get in the dog cam. I don't know. Maybe not. Who knows? Hide that. We don't need that thingy. All right. Oh, I got two of them right here. Of course, none of them are in the dog bed. Why would they be in the dog bed, you say? No, I don't know that either. I'm not sure why they're not in the dog bed, but they're not. Whatever, dogs. Don't make yourself, don't make it like you want to be out in public or anything. Good grief. All right. So there are definitely some specific things that I want to get. Let's go ahead and get up our capture point, which I don't think you guys can see. No, you can't. You can't. As Miss Bevy likes to say. All right, so let's start with Emily. Emily the baker. And I want to go back to last week. So $4 day, and then we had Monday, and so then we had Friday, which was the okay, so no, I want some Atali.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, law nerds of the chat. Today is day 24 of the Commonwealth versus Karen Read. We are on witness number, what is it, 50?
All right, let's see, how loud was that? Which was the, okay, so no, I want some Atali. All right, let's see how loud that was.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, law nerds of the chat. Today is day 24 of the Commonwealth versus Karen Read. We are on witness number.
All right, that wasn't too bad, hopefully. Hopefully that wasn't blasting your ears out.
50.
Okay, so let's pull up the transcript. Now, I don't know if some of you saw, I said I was going to do a bonus video, that I have a theory of the case, and I'm going to do a bonus video. So I'm going to try and find some stuff for that bonus video too while we're at this. Which I'll give you some hints as we go along, especially if you're watching. If you're watching here, I really appreciate it. I mean, you have no idea how much I appreciate it. So I'll kind of give you some hints of what my bonus video is and what my thought of the case is. I will preface this to say, although my theory of the case makes as much sense as what the Commonwealth's theory of the case is, it is absolutely 100% not what I really think happened in the case. Disclaimer. It is purely for amusement purposes only. It is not based in reality. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. We will see. So what do we got? So we got 135,000. No. Okay, so miles per minute. There we go. So that's where we're at. All right, and we got this whole thing here. So
the question. So
you don't have to agree with the premise of the question. I'm asking you about the math.
Oh, the math is correct. Yes.
The math is correct. Right? It's miles per second. Correct.
Yes.
On that calculation, in order to get to miles per minute, you multiply it by 60. Correct.
Yes.
Can you do that for me, please?
Madam Clerk.
all right. Yes. This is what I'm liking here. Oh no. My lovely wife went to get her haircut today. You know, we get our haircut by our friend, and so she talked to my friend, and they talked for a while. And then she didn't realize that Costco closes at 6 today. And so she missed Costco. So we're scraping the bottom of the barrel of our dog food. But we still got enough dog food to, you know, feed the dogs. So they're not going to go hungry. But we'll definitely have to get some soon. Is there anything else? There's nothing else in the list. Oh, breakfast sausages. Got to get breakfast sausages for the weekend. autocorrect. And so when she texted me, I meant to type, I typed doe, like DOH, doe. And instead it changed it to dog. So I'm telling her autocorrect changed doe to dog. And then I wrote food. All right. So I guess she's going to bring home dinner now. A little earlier than I expected her to. Okay. So we got this whole 135,000 miles per hour, which is close to the speed of sound. Very much goes to my theory of the case. This is very important to my theory of the case. Okay. Very important. My theory of the case hinges on Karen Reed's car traveling 135 miles per hour. And I will explain why in my video. All right, let's see. I want to catch this whole thing.
Madam Court Reporter's cell phone.
It's bold of Alan Jackson to be like, you can use the calculator on my cell phone, sir.
And do that. She's closeless.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Bold.
Thank you, Madam Court
All
Reporter.
right, let's catch this whole
If you could
bit
divide
here because
0.15 by 0.004, let me know what you come up with.
37.5.
So that would be, given the fact that the distance, as calculated, as indicated on that record, the distance
okay, you know
is
what? I think
0.1.
I just want to record this whole thing and then I'm going to take out snippets of it. I want to make sure I'm not missing anything. Oh, wait, what?
Forgot that time travel had entered this trial.
Oh, that was her talking. I'm like, why did they talk about time travel?
With 37.5 miles per second. Would you agree?
Objection.
Sustained.
Can you
I'm
do the
Okay, I just want to start recording here. So let's go ahead and then we'll just kind of watch it. Listen as they go along.
Sure, I'm sorry.
if you had a calculator in front of you, could you do it?
I could.
You don't have your cell phone with you.
I do not.
All right,
What's
let's
permission?
skip past
Madam Court
this.
Reporter's cell phone.
Calculator on my cell phone, sir.
And do that.
Bold.
She's closeless.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Bold.
Thank you, Madam Court Reporter.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All
If you
right,
could divide
Gotta get to the-
0.15 by 0.004, let me know what you come up with.
37.5.
So that would be, given the fact that the distance, as calculated, as indicated on that record, the distance is 0.15 miles over the course of 0.004 seconds, right?
No, I would push back as to when the distance was being created. That's the first distance and last distance.
Correct. What you indicated was the cell phone or the device was on the first arc during the first time.
probably have a
And the
lot of
court
this. Probably
recorder
have like the first
solution to
4 minutes of
everything.
this or so.
All I'm
But
asking is some basic math.
It's, I
So
mean,
you would agree
objection.
that if
It's not basic to me, but also this is, we'll see where we get.
the calculation we just did,
With
you
the
just did,
range of the
0.15
tower and the
miles
travel.
divided by 4 thousandths per second, that is 37.5 miles
basic
per
to you,
second.
Alan.
Stay consistent, miles per second.
there we go.
correct?
Now we're getting to the miles per second.
I don't agree with the premise of the question. So
Well, you don't have to agree with the premise of the question. I'm
What?
asking you about the math.
the math is correct. Yes.
Math is correct, right? It's miles per second, correct?
Yes.
On that calculation. In order to get to miles per minute, you multiply it by 60, correct?
Yes,
Can you do that for me, please?
Madam Clerk.
So after we record this, I'm going to have to go back, make sure that I'm not getting my voice in here. I don't think I am.
The question again, sir. I'm sorry.
Should
Yes.
just be recording this.
Multiplying 37.5
I'm struggling
times
because I
60
need to know why we're
give
doing
us
it.
miles per minute.
And I have a very
What
hard
is that?
time moving
2,250.
on
And if you
until
wanted to go to miles
until
per
I
hour,
understand
which
the
we're
point.
more familiar with, Multiply it by 60 again, wouldn't you?
Why are we mathing? We're
What's that
challenging
number?
something on the maps.
1,035,000. Excuse me.
I just don't know why yet.
135,000.
135,000 miles per hour, correct?
Yes.
So you would agree if the premise is moving.
He doesn't
from
agree with the
arc,
premise.
the first arc, moving 0.15 miles to the second arc over the course of 0.004 seconds, the device would have to be traveling 135,000 miles.
However, if a device is in this
In your question, you said
overlapping
1.5
zone,
miles
it'll just-
travel. It's
Okay.
0.1.
All right. That's enough of that. Now I want to get thinking. I want to get Brandy because this is for the bonus video. So, oh, no, YouTube. This is for the bonus video. I'm going to get Brandy because she doesn't. She just lets it play. So that's cool. I mean, I think it was day 22, right? Nope, day 24. Look at that. All right, I got to go to her channel and to the live. I've got, so if you can see this, I've got me playing over here, me playing over here, and me actually doing stuff here live here. So I'm seeing all this stuff going on. It's kind of funny. That's what you get for being this low budget thing here. Okay, so let's go transcript. So important. Sorry if my voice sounds a little weird. Like I said, I've got a pretty bad sore throat. Kept me home. Okay, so. All right, that's. All right, so let's go. Okay, so here we go. What? Please take a shot, do a squat, taste a biscuit. What? Now, sometimes the transcript isn't correct. Please side B, take a shot, do a squat, taste a biscuit. Wow. Okay, I got to see what is actually said here because that's funny.
Come up with 37.5 miles per second. Would you agree?
Objection.
Sustained.
Can you do the calculation in your head?
Oh, wait, where'd it go? I want the biscuit. Dang it. What it said. Okay, here we go. Can you do your head?
Yes, sir.
Do you need a calculator?
I would.
Your Honor, if
I'd like to see counsel at sidebar, please.
Sidebar. Take a shot, do a squat. Taste a
Okay.
biscuit. So
All right, I gotta get that. Sorry, that's fucking funny. Oops, excuse my language. Okay, here we go.
Please.
sidebar. Take a shot, do a squat. Taste a biscuit.
Oh my gosh, that's too
So-
funny, Brandy. You're hilarious. All right, let's take a look. Oh, remember I said
love
I
the dramatic
needed
zoom
to.
in of the evidence bags.
All right, continue.
And they ain't even.
All right, it did say I needed to. Oh, now I'm recording again. Dummy. All right, let's make sure we're not recording ourselves. This is going to be interesting. Okay, so we're going to play this.
Please.
Oh, nope, that's not what I wanted to play. That was the biscuit. That was the biscuit one. All right.
Sure, I'm sorry.
if you had a calculator
Sure,
in
I
front of you,
talked
could you do it?
here.
I could.
You don't have your cell phone with you.
I do not.
I was
What's
definitely talking
Madam
here.
Court
So,
Reporter, stop
okay.
Calculator on.
All right. We got, oh, I see. We got EDB, me below it, and then an empty dog bed. You guys are slacking. Get in your bed. Whole bunch of dogs around here and not one in the dang dog bed. It's just not right. I'll turn the camera. Eh. Anyway, okay. I bet you I can coax him into it. Let me run to the restroom real quick. I'm gonna go ahead and start this here. All right, let's go down. Okay, I'll get this. All right, full screen, start recording. And then
Start at the end time.
this.
All I'm
Okay,
asking is
I'll be
some
right
basic
back.
math. So you would agree that if the calculation we just did, or you just did, is 0.15 miles divided by 4 thousandths of a second, that is 37.5 miles per second, to stay consistent, miles per second, correct?
What? I don't agree with the premise of the question. So
Well, you don't have to agree with the premise of the question. I'm asking you about the math.
the math is correct. Yes.
The math is correct, right? It's miles per second, correct?
Yes.
Based on that calculation. In order to get to miles per minute, you multiply it by 60, correct?
Yes.
Can you do that for me, please?
Madam Clerk. The question again, sir, I'm sorry.
Yes. Multiplying 37.5 times 60 would give us miles per minute. What is that number?
2,250.
And if we wanted to go to miles per hour, which we're more familiar with, multiply it by 60 again, wouldn't you? And what's that number?
1,035,000. Excuse me, sorry. 135,000.
135,000 miles per hour, correct?
Yes.
So you would agree if the premise is moving from the arc, the first arc, moving
There we
0.15
go.
miles to the second
I
arc,
told you I could coax him
over
in
the
there,
course
Mr. Finney.
of 0.004
Mr.
seconds,
Finn.
the device would have to be traveling 135,000 miles per hour.
And if I
correct?
had my
In your
normal
question, you said
setup,
1.5 miles travel. It's 0.15 miles. You corrected me. I'm going to throw it back at you, sir.
Fair enough, fair enough.
All right.
Okay. 0.15 miles over the course of 0.004 seconds, the device would have to be
I'm
traveling
afraid if I
135,000
change
miles
the
per hour.
camera, it's
Basic
gonna.
math, correct?
While I agree with that, I would push back. That's probably not what the record is indicating.
There's
You would,
Mr. Finney.
you would agree that that is physically impossible, correct?
For a cell phone, yes.
There you go.
Right. And you would also
He's a good
agree
boy.
that since that's impossible, you're not
All right.
suggesting to this jury that the device moved from arc 1 to arc 2 in 4 thousandths of a second. That
I'm-
can't be what you're suggesting.
I'm not suggesting that.
Okay. In fact, what actually makes more sense is that the signal was moving to and from the device at light speed, 186,000 miles per second.
It does. Radio
Radio waves move at what?
speed of light.
Speed of light,
All right.
186,000 miles per second, right?
Speed of light.
Yes.
Okay. If, as you indicated on
That
direct
plays into
examination,
my theory
if
of
that
the
return
case.
signal, the bounce, is in any way refracted, meaning it takes a deviation. It's not straight because of something like, I don't know, weather, precipitation, or snow, then it would take longer to get back to the antenna, correct?
That's fair.
And that could be what's reflected in that map and the distance.
Okay. All right. We got enough there. We got enough there. Gotta think. Dun-dun.
The device moved from the first arc to the second arc. Yes.
And it would be impossible to do that in 4 thousandths of a second, correct?
A cell phone, yes.
Okay.
The eyewitness placed that forward edge being
All right. I think that's enough on that for now. So let's go back. What else was interesting as far as Tolly goes? I don't remember much.
He's saying
Yes.
that's not
and the end time.
what it
I
reflects.
understand what you're saying about the distance
Okay, forward edge.
between 2:30 and 3:30 in the morning, right?
An investigation into the reliability of that witness was conducted.
So you just decided, and that investigation, folks, is.
Then we had the DNA guy. Then we had
No.
break. Then we had
That
other
was a
DNA
bad question, Alan, because
person.
now you've got a bad answer.
Yes.
We had on.
We haven't heard testimony yet about who saw the Ford Edge, except for opening, which isn't.
Okay. All right. Yeah, Brian Tully was kind of a the. All right. And then
Good.
then we had that whole thing on Friday with the juror getting tossed out and the whatever that whole thing was. I don't know. Do you guys think that the juror actually said something about not liking her smiling or whatever? I know Jessica, the reporter for Fall River reporter, Mercado, Jessica Mercado, I believe it is. Well, she's not the first one that reported. You know, the stuff you pick up online on X, you can't tell what to believe. You can't make sense of a lot of it. You really can't. But, I mean, if she was saying stuff that's trying to get into the heads of jurors that, you know, there's one way to look at this case, or she doesn't like this aspect of Karen's behavior or whatever. I mean, that's an alarm bell, and it's good that the other jurors stepped up and said something about it, because, you know, they're these jurors are investing a lot of time into this, and I am 100% sure that they would be beyond crazy if this thing, for some reason, got a mistrial, and all the work that they've done was for naught. All the work that, you know, that they put in this, all the weeks that they've taken off work and shown up at this courthouse every single day, to have a mistrial on that would be just, I mean, that would be devastating, I would think. I'd be mad. Holy crap, I'd be mad. All right, let's see. So we had, let's go ahead and get the transcript up here, because my goodness. I want to get some of the direct testimony of Mr. You know, the video on Friday is going to be a lot of this guy, fortunately, because my goodness, what a mess. Jeez. I mean, he pretty much testified all freaking day, except for this little part here where, and I don't know, did
is limited just to the tab. We would.
Did Yannetti actually get her to say anything? I mean, she was only cross-examined for what, 5-10 minutes?
Just related to
as I take your
his question. His question is, could the search have happened at that time? And she's saying the timestamp is irrelevant to the search. The timestamp is only about the tab. So I think what we're going to get to is possibly.
You're not
We'll
denying that the timestamp and whatever you get from that timestamp
Is just about.
doesn't rule out that the Google search was done at or before 2:27 a.m. Correct?
If I'm understanding your question, there was a double negative, so I just want to clarify. The question is if the timestamp could exist because of a search happening at that time?
No.
Or no, okay.
What I'm saying is your analysis of the phone does not rule out that the user of that phone performed that Google search at or before 2:27 a.m.
There there is no indication of a Google search at or before 2:27 a.m.
But again, I'm getting to whether you can rule that out, ma'am. That's really the crux of my question.
She's like, I can't rule it in, I can't rule it out.
That the user of that phone conducted that search.
Yeah, this whole freaking search thing. All right, let's move on to Trooper Paul here because she's boring as hell. Nothing about her is going to make a fun video because this case is just ridiculous. These people are ridiculous. All right. Let's get into his
probably about 877 hours of
how many? 877? What?
Additional specialized training having received in the area of crash reconstruction.
Since I've been on, I've been into probably about 877 hours of education in the unit.
What do you,
That's
800?
anything from bicycle, 77 hours of
Crash reconstruction.
since I've been on, I've been into probably about 877 hours of education in the unit.
877
Additional
hours?
specialized training having received in the area of crash reconstruction.
Since I've been on, I've been into probably about 877 hours of.
What, if any, specialized training do you want to go in regard to crash reconstruction?
So when I went to
Every time he
before I
says
got to the
cars, I
unit, I
just
was
think
sent
of the
to
movie.
3 separate classes.
There we go. We're going to get this one here. All right. And full screen. Start recording. And go talk. All
Now, with
right.
respect to yourself, upon or prior to you entering into the cars unit, what, if any, specialized training do you want to go in regard to crash reconstruction?
So when I went to
Every time he
before I
says
got to the
cars, I
unit, I
just
was
think
sent
of the
to
movie.
3 separate classes. Each class was 40 hours long. So the first class is basic at scene crash investigation. Next one's advanced crash investigation, and the other one's traffic crash reconstruction.
And with each of these trainings that,
Okay.
you underwent prior to being assigned.
All right. We got his training. I still don't. I'm going to record that because but it's weird. He says 877. I don't know what number sure it is. Okay, let's listen. Okay, if we could figure it out,
Now,
that'd be great.
with respect to, since you've been working with the cars unit over the last several years, what, if any, additional specialized training have you received in the area of crash reconstruction?
Since I've been on, I've been into probably about 877 hours of education in the units.
That's a lot
That's
of
anything
education.
from bicycle crash investigation, human factors. I'm currently certified through Burlap Field Examiner and a technician. I am a CDR analyst and a CDR technician trainer. Just recently, I've attended multiple seminars, and most recently, I attended a seminar in Houston on.
All right, let's see here. All right. Okay, I want to see what he says because he said some crazy stuff about dude's arm.
That's not what he's asking.
We can break down the injury to
Okay, so she's laughing. All right, this will
force
be good.
injuries.
And
Is the medical examiner.
pedestrian in this collision, what, if any, data were you able to see or review in relation to your reconstruction analysis?
See what this is. This looks like it could have been funny.
As far as Mr. O'Keefe, what, if anything, did you learn about his injuries?
What kind of question is that? What?
Right. The 4.5 degrees.
All right,
and then
listen to
goes
this
back
whole
left
question,
after that.
and then listen to what he
right at
changes
that,
it
right at
to.
That spot is something that's consistent with a pedestrian strike.
Now, with respect to Mr. O'Keefe, the pedestrian in this collision, what, if any, data were you able to see or review in relation to your reconstruction analysis in this case?
Say
Lolly, good lord, buddy.
that's consistent
All right,
with the
we're just
pedestrian
gonna let
strike.
this play for a minute. here.
Now, with respect to Mr. O'Keefe, the pedestrian
I don't-
in this collision,
I don't-
what, if any,
I don't-
data
I just-
were you
I
able
don't-
to see or review
What in the world?
relation to your reconstruction analysis in this case?
Say
As far as Mr. O'Keefe, what, if anything, did you learn about his injuries?
Like what types of injuries he had?
Yes.
Yeah, there were blunt force injuries. I mean, it was abrasions. Or last.
How's that blunt force injuries?
You know who we haven't heard from yet? Is the medical examiner. So I don't know if there's bruising. We don't know what blunt force injury there are.
Yeah, makes sense, doesn't it?
Abrasions.
Stop trying to tell me shit's abrasions when they're lacerations. Just stop it.
As far as Mr. O'Keefe, what, if anything, did you learn about his injuries?
Like what types of injuries he had?
Yes.
Wouldn't that be
Yeah, there were
important?
blunt force injuries. I mean, it was abrasions or lacerations, and blunt force injuries.
And the injuries that you observed or that you were informed about, you learned this from the medical examiner, is that correct?
Correct.
And with respect to the injuries that Mr. O'Keefe was recorded as having sustained, according to the medical examiner, what, if any, relationship did those injuries have to you in relation to a pedestrian collision?
What?
Sorry, say it again.
As far as the injuries that you were informed by the medical
Say it
examiner,
again.
Mr. O'Keefe,
Exactly.
Yeah, the questions
Yes.
are that bad,
what, if
sir.
any, relationship did those injuries have in relation to a pedestrian collision?
Are you
They're consistent
kidding me?
With a pedestrian collision.
And how so?
Is that a question?
Due to, I mean,
Lally's question should have been, did you consider the injuries to the victim in your analysis? But that's not what he's asking.
That's insane. Oh my God. Okay, so now he's going to get into the taillight, so might as well just keep going. Just keep going with this. Holy crap. Now he's going to get into the taillight, exploded, and cut his arm up.
we can break down each injury to the arm, the lacerations of the arm from the tail light, the dent with a scratch.
He just said the injuries to the arm consistent with the taillight, from the taillight. I backed that up. We're going to hear that again real quick because he said that fast.
Due to, I mean, we can break down each injury to the arm, the lacerations of the arm from the tail light, the dent with the scratches for his hand could be. Those are something that would be consistent with this in this particular case with striking the Lexus.
Now, specifically with reference to this case, what, if any, analysis did you conduct with regard to kinematics?
Yes, I did a kinematics analysis in my report. Kinematics deals with the aspect of motion.
And I'm sorry, if you could expand upon that just a little bit and explain to the jury sort of what a kinematics analysis is.
Oh my God.
So kinematics analysis is, like I said, it deals with the aspects of motion. Pedestrian crashes get labeled in certain types of how they interact. So in this particular case, I kind of labeled it as it's a forward projection crash with a side swipe. And what I mean by forward projection, it means that when a pedestrian gets struck by a vehicle, well, basically their principal impact forces are above the pedestrian center of gravity, as in this case where you get the higher back of the vehicle. When you get struck by something like that, it projects you forward in the direction of the vehicle. And in this situation where he gets more struck through the side of the vehicle on the taillight area, that it projects him.
Oh my goodness. It's during the day, so I kind of can't watch this completely with as much emphasis as I'd like to, but holy God grief, what is this guy even talking about? What in the world? This is insane.
Okay.
It's the back of the vehicle. It's pretty flat and it's pretty higher up.
I backed up a little to hear Lally's next question
Now,
through my
with respect,
exasperation.
you also made aware
Okay, we gotta
labeling
get
this
her
as a forward
exasperation.
projection slash
Forward
side swipe.
projection side swipe.
Yeah, due to being pretty flat, it's not the back of the vehicle, direction of the vehicle. The taillight area, and what I mean by forward projection means that when a pedestrian gets struck by a vehicle, well, basically their principal impact forces are above the pedestrian center of gravity, as in this case where you get the higher back of the vehicle. When you get struck by something like that, it projects you forward in the direction of the vehicle. And in this situation where he gets more struck through the side of the vehicle on the taillight area, that it projected him to forward and then to the left due to the more of a side swipe manner.
Now, with respect to the, you mentioned the height of the vehicle.
Makes
as
no
far as the
sense
shape
at
of the
all.
back of the vehicle, what, if any, relationship does that have in regard to you sort of labeling this as a forward projection slash side
Forward
swipe?
projection side swipe.
Yeah, due to being pretty flat, it's not the front of the vehicle where you have the hood and the pedestrian staying above the hood. It's the back of the vehicle. It's pretty flat and it's pretty higher up.
Now, with respect, you also made aware through your review of the medical examiner's report that there was injury to.
I just want someone to ask him, though, doesn't this model of Lexus have automatic braking?
The back of Mr. O'Keefe's head.
Yes.
And based
I'm going to. Okay.
It's the back of the vehicle. It's pretty flat and it's pretty higher up.
I backed up a little to hear Lally's next.
Them get projected forward, so they get hit from behind. They would have damage to the back, and then when they get projected forward, they get damage to the front. So, I mean, in this case, he got projected and got spun counterclockwise due to the.
I gotta get my notebook because I'm
When you
gonna
get
make some
impacted vehicle.
notes. I'll be right back, folks.
What?
now, with regard to
He said hit on the left side, though. He said hit on the left side and spun and could have hit the back of his head, but all the injuries are on the right side. Okay.
the vehicle speeds, kinematically speaking, from your analysis in respect to that, what, if anything, can you say in relation to, just in general terms, as far as the pedestrian collision is concerned, how much of that vehicle speed would a pedestrian be assuming in the context of
John
pedestrian
O'Keefe might have hit his head. What caused him to hit
For
his
projection,
head? I have a
we'll
lot of
have
questions about.
context of how much of that vehicle speed would a
I wanna hear
pedestrian
Molly
be
say
assuming
kinematic.
in the context of
Kinematically
O'Keefe
is
might have hit
going
his
in
head.
my video
What
this
caused him to
week.
hit
Oh
his
my
head?
God.
I have a
We'll
lot of
have
questions about.
almost 100% speed post-impact projection. We'll have
in the context, how much of that vehicle speed would a pedestrian be assuming in relation to?
Does he say
now,
consuming?
vehicle speeds, kinematic.
There we go.
These are on the could have hit the back of his head. He said hit on the left side.
Let's just go back because we're gonna get like a minute of this here. All right. Record.
where you got impact of the vehicle.
What?
Now, with regard to
He said hit on the left side, though. He said hit on the left side and spun and could have hit the back of his head, but all the injuries are on the right side. Okay.
the vehicle speeds, kinematically speaking, from your analysis in respect to that,
Kinematically speaking.
what, if anything, can you say in relation to just in general
Kinematically
terms, as far as the
speaking.
pedestrian collision is concerned, how much of that vehicle speed would a pedestrian be
Oh my God.
assuming in the context of
John
pedestrian
O'Keefe might have hit his head. What caused him to hit
For
his head?
projection,
I have a
we'll
lot of
have
questions about.
almost 100% speed post-impact. And more, like I said, in this case, it's more the fact that he didn't get 100%, like his center of mass didn't strike the vehicle, so he would not have been thrown 100% of the vehicle speed post-impact. He would have, his right side would have sustained the vehicle speed, and that would cause him to spin
Now
out.
it's the-
So
You've said both now. You've said left side and right side. And I don't know if he mixed up the side of the car, but now he's saying right side.
As opposed to traditional forward projection, if he was right there in the middle of the vehicle, he would have got projected forward, and he would have sustained, his full body would have sustained the vehicle speed.
Oh my God. I have no words.
Traditional forward projection crashes, the vehicle would get tracked forward ahead of the vehicle, and that vehicle could possibly travel over that.
All right, before we move on real quick, I need to get this put into the right order. Just bear with me for one moment. Please stand by. All right, new folder. Oops. That down here. I know. Citing stuff. Folders. New folder. Properties. Bonus. We'll call this folder bonus. And then get all the Tully stuff here. Okay, cut. I just want to get my bonus video stuff put in the right folder. Okay, paste. All right, there we go. All right, what else?
Pedestrian.
So that is not what you found in this particular pedestrian collision, correct?
Correct.
So he's saying, oh my God, this is so confusing. His testimony is not clear. I don't know how many times this witness has testified, but I would guess it's not many.
Okay, so
he is again going back to the side swipe.
I'm just a
Sorry.
little.
okay, I want to get this because this seems like pretty crazy part two. All right, and full screen and record.
Sorry. Yes.
So he is again going back to the side swipe.
Due to the situation in this scene where he got projected to the left and body rotated, it would have rotated away from the vehicle and his body would not have traveled
So he's saying John O'Keefe was projected to the left.
under the vehicle, as you do in like most live traditional forward projection crashes. The vehicle would get tracked forward ahead of the vehicle, and that vehicle could possibly travel over that pedestrian.
So that is not what you found in this particular pedestrian collision, correct?
Correct.
So he's saying, oh my God, this is so confusing. His testimony is not clear. I don't know how many times this witness has testified, but I would guess it's not many. He is saying that the impact caused John O'Keefe to be thrown to the left and that he had injury from the taillight on his arm, and that because there was a side swipe causing John O'Keefe to get thrown to the left and turn, he would have hit his head, or possibly, I think is what he said, hit his head on the ground, but that would have thrown him to the side, protecting him from being run over by the vehicle, where in a lot of forward motion collision crashes, you have the pedestrian being hit and then the car keeps going and the pedestrian gets thrown backwards, but in the same line.
okay, all right, enough of that.
I think that's what he's trying to say, because he is not articulating.
Has a center mass, pedestrian is the same. So a pedestrian center mass is essentially obviously the half the body, and you would also put down is around the chest area, just below the chest area would be a center of mass for a pedestrian, and they all range based on height and body.
Or you testified earlier at some point that you went outside to an asphalt roadway
yes.
surface and conducted
This stuff.
I was really hoping for clear scientific testimony,
acceleration right.
and I asked.
Yeah, I like this part too. Yep, this has got to go in. Here we go. All right, record this.
Your witness too, Lally.
22, when you were at the Canton Police Department, you mentioned that, or you testified earlier at some point that you went outside to an asphalt roadway operating surface and conducted some.
I was really hoping for clear
acceleration
scientific
and,
testimony.
rear acceleration right.
And I asked for scientific testimony. I feel like I have been punked. I did not say the word clear, obviously. So we are getting testimony.
Test, correct?
Correct.
Now,
I heard Andrea had some good times
in
on this
addition
too.
to that, what if any other testing did you do with respect to that vehicle?
In the vehicle.
And again, if you could,
Particular case, we were trying to see if the operating vehicle would be able to see a pedestrian behind the vehicle, and also in this.
and
Does it
fairness,
automatically stop?
to the defendant at this particular time when you can to the conditions at the time of the collision?
Buried in that answer.
Be done because it's an accident, but a lot of times when it's like an intentional act, we don't visibility is not an issue in this situation. We were just more want to make sure that the cameras worked and then backup sensors all worked in the vehicle.
Buried in that answer. Buried in that answer was we didn't really consider or pay that much attention to visibility because it was an intentional act.
I didn't have anything that was Trooper Nick Marinos to the infotainment system in this vehicle.
And you indicated earlier in your testimony that you had training as it relates to Burla, correct?
Correct.
And what, if any, relationship does Burla have with respect?
He's reviewing what looks like
Supposed to be?
still photos.
It's the inside of the vehicle. Appears to be taking out the showing that taking out the infotainment system.
The what system?
Infotainment system.
And the last photograph there, what, if anything, does that depict, sir?
That is the module for the infotainment system.
And what, if any, involvement did you have in respect to this investigation in regard to the infotainment system?
I didn't have anything that was Trooper Nick Marinos to the infotainment system in this vehicle.
Why did
And
why did
you
he need
indicated
to
earlier
ask
in your
that question?
testimony that you had training.
Why did Lolly have to ask him that question? He had no involvement in this. He's trying to waste time. He's trying to,
And
to get through
the last
day.
photograph there, what, if
So
anything, does that
they
depict,
don't
sir?
have. They can't.
That is the module for the infotainment system.
And what, if any, involvement did you have in respect to this investigation in regard to the infotainment system?
I didn't have anything that was Trooper Nick Marinos to
Hey!
the infotainment system in this vehicle.
And you indicated earlier in your testimony
Oh, no,
that
it
you
was
had
feedback.
training as it relates to Burla, correct?
Correct.
And what, if any, relationship does Burla have with respect?
Someone else. Example.
All right. Shouldn't be having feedback, but let me see. Hope I'm not having feedback. Let's check it here. Ooh, yeah. No, you know what that is? Turn it down a little bit. It's my air conditioner that's behind me. And so it's got a really high pitched. And then back off. So my air conditioner is really high pitched. And so it will kind of sound like feedback. I don't know. It's a new computer. I'm still dealing with this. Yeah. No, it's got a little bit of rumbling to it. So I tried. I've got denoiser on it. Let's try the denoiser down here too. All right, let's see how that does. Let's see. Nope, you can still hear it. Hear it right there. All right. Just want to see if that's it. Oh yeah. See? All gone. No more feedback. Haha.
Examined the infotainment system.
Respect to the infotainment system?
They had tools to forensically diagnose the infotainment systems.
And if you know, are you familiar with whether or not that was able to be accomplished in this particular case?
It was not.
And do you know why not?
Because they had to go to, I think Berla didn't have the equipment, so they went to a
Sustained.
I
tools that to forensically
Back to the infotainment system.
they
Infotainment system.
all right. I got to get all this too. This is crazy. This has no bearing on anything. Why would he even need to
Someone else
ask these questions?
Examined the
Somebody else.
infotainment system.
Exactly.
Back to the infotainment system.
they had tools that to forensically diagnose the infotainment systems.
And if you know, are you familiar with whether or not that was able to be accomplished in this particular case?
It was not,
And do you know why not?
because they had to go to. I think Berla didn't have the equipment, so they went to a
Sustained. Yeah, he doesn't know.
Your Honor, may I approach?
Yes.
Now, as far as
Oh my God.
those photographs, they're an accurate portrayal of what you.
You know what we just learned though?
This is nuts. This is
That for some
crazy.
reason they weren't able to do more of an analysis of the infotainment system. So the infotainment system was extracted from the vehicle, but it seems that there was no analysis done. There was no analysis.
Pointer,
Like, it's a really expensive car.
anything of significant.
It's in cars.
It is a really
Easier to
expensive
see with
car.
distance glasses.
If you were in drive, it just had the radio navigation stuff. But if you're in verse, that's where the backup cameras and sensors would be.
Oh look, it has a backup camera. Wow.
Oh no, he definitely was running the clock again. He had. There was a whole nother witness that was going to come on and talk about the infotainment system. He had no reason to talk about the infotainment system with this guy. None. Absolutely none. It was all just to waste time and get through the day, so there was no cross-examining, which he should have split up the cross-examination, because then Jackson had a whole day to just cross-examine this guy. If he wouldn't have delayed so much, he probably could have got a split cross-examination, which means part of it on Friday, part of it on Monday, which, they're not going to remember the parts on Friday as much. Some of the questions he asked, though, are just so freaking silly. All right, what else we got here? I know.
It's coming. You can take that down.
All right, let's see, because I know Runkle was freaking out too on Friday. All right, let's check out some Runkle from this day, because that was pretty funny too. All right, 5 day 24. Oops, sorry, apologize for your ears. Down a little bit. Wasn't it? Oh no, it was not day 24. Was day 25. There we go. All right. More show transcript. All right. Yeah, I think he's just given up this case, because my goodness. All right.
Come on, man. This is 2024. Okay. I just don't know why all these police officers, they're just like,
Valley, whenever you're ready.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I don't know where they get these guys from, but they look so similar.
All right, we gotta get that. Starting off with a banger. I love it. All right.
Valley, whenever you're ready.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I don't know where they get these guys from, but they look so similar. So
There we go. That's plenty right there. All right. We can bring the volume down a little more.
similar. They're just, I don't understand. Like, it's just insulting the baldness. It's just weird that they're all reconstruction section, also known as cars. Good work on the initialism there, because it's like, ow.
Reconstruction section.
Where is it that you're currently assigned within the state?
I am currently assigned to our collision analysis and reconstruction section.
Collision analysis and reconstruction section, or cars. Oh my god.
Otherwise known as cars, our recon.
Collision analysis and reconstruction section, also known as cars.
That's funny.
Good work on the initialism there, because it's like, ow, you named the reconstruction section cars.
My goodness.
With respect to yourself, upon
So,
kind of like this part too. Okay. Get this.
go in regard to crash reconstruction.
okay.
So when I went to, before I got into the unit, I was sent to 3 separate classes. Each class was 40 hours long. So the first class is basic at scene crash investigation. Next one's advanced crash investigation, and the other one's traffic crash reconstruction.
Okay, so his training, 3 courses at 40 hours apiece. So 120 hours. Now I want you to keep that in mind when we've got 120 hours of training, because
All right, go on there.
Because if they're engineers,
Yeah, if they're engineers, they have.
so if this guy's an expert in crash reconstruction, I'm pretty sure I'm an expert in a set and multiple. Oh, otherwise I'm showing you my, like, some of my login stuff, and that's not cool. So Hitman, the latest Hitman, not all the Hitman games, because there's been multiple, only the latest Hitman game, which I haven't been playing all that thoroughly. I have 205 hours on that.
Oh,
205 hours on Hitman. All right, let's see some other fun games.
Ooh. We're having a dream, it seems. Woke up. Oh, there's a little kick. Oh, he's still dreaming. Look at that. Deep sleep. Mr. Finney's deep sleep there. I was like, what is that noise? Oh, that's pretty funny. Oh, no, I did not. What? New Mexico fires. So I know I saw there was one in, like, between LA and Bakersfield the other night. Ooh, look at that. Oh my goodness. Oh no. Yikes. At least one dead in New Mexico wildfires that forces thousands to flee. Oh no. Not good at all. Killed at least one person. Must be really wind whipped willet fires. Yeah. Oh no. That is awful. Oh my goodness. Wow. Holy moly. Wow. Yeah. There's red. Yeah. Yeah. I know there was the one in, like I said, between Bakersfield and LA the other night, but didn't look like it was too much into an area with folks, but that's bad. Oh my goodness. I'll have to check that out later. Oof. Oh no. Yeah, wildfires are. Oh no. Oh, I bet it was. Yeah, no, that's awful. Oh my goodness. Hmm. Yeah, wildfires are not. We haven't had a major one around here. The probably the most major one we've had in the last, in modern times or whatever. In 96, we had the Big Lake fire, which torched a whole bunch of homes. And then there was one down in Kenai, 10, 15 years ago that took out a lot of homes down there too. But yeah, no, that is no good. That is not good. Heck. I don't like fires, obviously. Oh, no way. Oh, that somebody actually set this. Oh. That makes, that's even worse.
The text
Somebody
stream.
Somebody actually intentionally set that. That's just awful. All right, let's see. Let's go up, see what we get here.
As far as this trigger is concerned, I understand from your testimony that the maximum speed is 24.2. Is that correct?
Correct.
And what is the vehicle speed reported at the end of this 10-second data?
23.6.
In sort of different sets, as far as drive, reverse, things of that nature. Is it all what
drive? It starts off in drive, goes into reverse.
Now is that recorded? Specifically, I'm asking from the time that it goes to reserve.
It's only 13. I think the host at 13.5%.
Oh, from this data,
and it's still fairly straight in the vehicle and at
4.2 miles per hour. Correct.
Correct.
Now, as far as the small deviations in
mounts, those small deviations.
I think we're gonna have to get on the cross. I know I was listening to the Friday Night Frenzy from these guys from Runkle and then from Law and Lumber. They really went off on the freaking cross on this guy. So, or no, that was his testimony, wasn't it? I think it was his testimony because he didn't get crossed till Monday. So. Yeah, no, yeah, we're pretty close to the inlet, so I don't think we'd be in too much danger here. I mean, there are some woods right across from us. So it's potentially a thing that we could deal with here, but not, I mean, it's a really low, very, very low possibility. Like, I'm more worried about earthquakes here, to be honest. Where we are, earthquake would be much more.
A left at 4.5.
Much more something that's going to get us
right.
Like we had the 7. We had the one a few years ago that was like a 7.0. What was that? 2018 AK earthquake. 2018 earthquake, Anchorage, 7.1. This one. I'm more worried about this than I am, that was our way to the airport. Look at it. Look at that dude's car. These people were on the exit trying to go to the airport when the exit basically completely fell apart around them. They just basically went, oh no, there's no exit left. And then they fixed this. The maintenance people fixed this after the weekend believe the earthquake was it was a Thursday or Friday, and then like 48, 72 hours later, whatever, this was fixed completely fixed. There's another picture of it. Could you imagine sitting there like that and all of a sudden everything just falls apart around you? Oh my gosh. But yeah, this was some of the worst damage. This, and then this was out in Wasilla area. If there's a better picture of it here. Yeah, you can kind of see that. This was, you can see that's kind of a marshy area. And then on the highway coming in, there's another picture of that area. This was one of the newsrooms. That was a crazy day. But yeah, all these natural disasters, just no fun.
Classic of cinema, Ferris Bueller, American Miles. If you're Canadian,
It's a vehicle control history distance chart. I have attached my calculator and attached to my report.
And may I approach again, Your Honor?
Yes.
All right, so we're going to run into some problems here, which is distance. And one of the things about distance calculation is that your car isn't really so. You could do that. Who have buried their cars because they've dug them through. But we have heard a little bit of evidence in this trial that it was snowing. And by a little bit of evidence, I mean every single witness has told us actually a really stupid thing to do. It sucks. And yeah, you finally move. This is Massachusetts, and they've kind of just knows if your wheels are another 1,000 miles, even though that car never actually moved. Or if it does, it'll count reverse as forward, not back.
Cool. Okay, I will check it out.
Let's say you wanted to add a bunch of miles to a car for some reason.
Let's see. And pull it up right now, actually. Oh my good grief, look at that. Wow. Oh my gosh. Oh man. Wow. Oh. That is insane. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's scary. That is way scary. Holy moly. Ugh. Yeah, that's oof. No, thank you. No. Oh my gosh. Well, I hope everybody gets out. I hope no more fatalities in this, because you never know what's. And I hope they keep the house and people's losses to a minimum, because that always just sucks.
You could absolutely put it up on rollers.
Yeah, all right. I want to get this. Let's see. Flip.
another, 1,000 miles, even though that car never actually moved. So, you could do
Yeah,
that. Your car
makes
doesn't
sense.
know if you're moving or not moving. It just knows if your wheels are moving or not moving. So yeah. Yeah, that is kind of our that's kind of our thing there. So what happens now? I know that this is Massachusetts and they've never encountered snow before, right? So they may not know this, but one of the things that happens when you're driving in snow is that sometimes your wheels spin faster than you actually move.
Correct.
Like you hit the gas and the wheels spin, and you just don't move. And lots of people screw this up because if you just keep hammering the gas, you may actually you may spin your wheels and just dig yourself down and never actually move. It's actually
Correct.
a really stupid thing to do. It sucks. And yeah, you find people who have buried their cars because they've dug them through. But we have heard.
So if Jackson is correct, which he is, and the whole key thing. So let's go back here to this thing here. So, he's saying that okay, so this is a different one, but he's saying that the key cycle, you can't forget about the key cycle. So if he's saying that the key cycle is wrong, and this key cycle is one of the ones where the car is moving around, and if somebody's in reverse and they're stuck in deep snow and they hit the gas and the gas moves the wheels to 24 miles an hour and they move the wheel this way and this way to get it out, then you're telling me that that's not that would show up on these records to show that, yeah, I think that's what's going to happen. I think that's what happened is somebody was driving the vehicle, got kind of stuck in the snow and had to gun it in reverse and move the wheel around a little bit to get going. Because that's what happens in the snow. Trust me, I know. I live in the Arctic. I know all about driving in the snow. I drive in the snow for the last years. Let's not go into how long I've been driving in the darn snow, but I've been driving in the darn snow for most of my adult life. Pretty much all of my adult life. I've driven in the snow every winter, and we get a lot of it.
Wheel, it's going to drop your speed.
So, yeah, I want to, what else are we going to get? What else?
Pedestrian collision. What does that mean? Well, we're going to figure that out, right? He's going to tell us. So okay.
The lacerations of the arm from the tail lights, the dent where the scratches for his hand could be. Those are something that would be consistent with this and this.
Yeah, right. Yep. Correct. 1162 is getting out of the parents' driveway, put it in the tow truck. So if they showed the picture with the snow almost up to the bumper, the snow was almost up to the bumper at her parents' house where they loaded the car. They loaded the car. So they drove it up on the thing. So if they're pulling out of her driveway and they get stuck in the snow and they have to gun it, and now it could have been that, or it could have been, them driving that morning. It definitely doesn't seem like it was the night before. There definitely was more key cycles. Yeah, no, exactly. That's what I'm thinking too. And I think when the defense experts testify, they're going to testify to this. So, all right, I got to see
Particular
if
case
Runkle
with striking
says
the
anything
Lexus.
about this.
Now, specifically with reference to this case, what, if any, analysis did you conduct with regard to kinematics?
Yes, I did a kinematics analysis in my report. Kinematics deals with the aspect of motion.
And I'm sorry, if you could expand upon that just a little bit and explain to the jury sort of what a kinematics
Kennedy assassination. Thinking back to the old conspiracy theory movie about the Kennedy assassination.
is, how Mr. O'Keefe interacted with the defendant.
So yeah, so
Aware through your review of the medical examiner's report that there was injury to the back of Mr. O'Keefe's head.
yes,
And based on your training experience and
could have struck the ground. I noted at the scene that there was asphalt curbing, which could have somewhere he could have struck his head in there, or somewhere along any of the pavement would have caused damage. Most forward projection crashes have damage on both sides of the body.
Okay, so he's saying that this is how it
Yeah.
could have
Right.
done. Now, I am just
Yeah.
Projected forward, so they get hit from behind, they would have damage to the back, and then when they get projected forward, they get damage to the front. So
now with regard to the vehicle speeds, kinematically speaking, from your analysis.
All right, let's see. I gotta see if he says anything about this because kinematically,
in this case, he got projected and got spun counterclockwise due to where he got impacted the vehicle.
Yeah.
Now,
no, they
with
do.
regard
They
to
think the
the
jury's
vehicle
dumb.
speeds, kinematically speaking, from your analysis in respect to that, what, if anything, can you say in relation to, just in general terms, as far as a pedestrian collision is concerned, how much of that vehicle speed would a pedestrian be assuming in the context of a pedestrian collision with forward projection?
Forward projection will have almost 100% speed post-impact. And more, like I said, in this case, it's more the fact that he didn't get 100%, like his center mass didn't strike the vehicle, so he would not have.
His questions, all these
Yes.
questions are so ridiculous. It's just so freaking ridiculous.
He got projected to the left and by
Body typically with a center of mass be located.
usually just around the chest area, just below.
been an intentional thing because
I get to that, sir.
Okay.
neutral. And so all of these pictures, they've shown us there's no damage to John O'Keefe's car, no damage to John O'Keefe's car. It's not at the lower, it's not at like the, oh, let's have a look.
Both. Go ahead, Ms. Gilman. You show yours, and then I'm going to ask the defense.
Where we are. I am just
Off the damage, that is something consistent with that. So
Series of questions about that video, correct?
yes, you told me the video and you said,
and because of that, they decided to like bring their expert back in and to ask them for like a follow-up
Oh yeah, no,
statement.
exactly.
And that follow-up statement, is basically specifically designed to attack this, right?
Sidebar ambush, and I know that rankles the court and the court both sides.
Guy was full of shit. Did you catch that he was full of shit, Judge? Because he was so full of shit.
First time
When he says, I don't believe that. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. All right, I think we're gonna see. I know Andrea was just beside herself with this guy. Andrea, because I want to catch some of definitely.
He's basically saying this guy was full of shit. Did you catch that he was full of shit, Judge? Because he was so full of shit.
Why?
discloses this opinion is in front of the 16 jurors, 15 jurors. We would ask for its exclusion, Your Honor. And I'll submit.
All right, Mr. Lally.
Oh,
Yes, Your Honor.
it's playing
As
here.
far as-
Like, where is that playing at? Oh my god. It's playing in the little side window. All right. Let's see. That was day 24, 25, 25. A25. All right, let's see. Mm-mm. All right, let's pull up the transcript from this.
Because there are rumors that jurors went to the waterfall and were doing outside investigation.
In those,
Could we?
how pedestrians interact with vehicles in the course of a collision.
Yes, I am.
Now, and now, Trooper, what you have up on the screen, is that what you have before you as first in that exhibit? And you're with Gilman, first in that exhibit.
Everything was labeled with a red arrow. That would be point. Was found, and pedestrian shoe was found here.
So
the smaller versions here in the light blue is one of the fire hydrants, the flagpole.
So they do that stitching.
At the time of this, I measured between each point from ground control point 1 to 2.
Data, if not to be able to incorporate. They only mapped the 3 pieces of evidence. They mapped what Tully had in his report. They mapped what he had in his report. Those 3 original ones.
The broken taillight here was here. There's some scratches.
The vehicle weighs, according to the gross weight.
I think it was approximately 7,000 pounds.
Now,
is that GPS more precise than
it's usually just training on
the
it.
other GPSs?
Now, with respect to the V-Box Sport as it's attached to that vehicle, that's measuring specifically from that vehicle with those tires on that roadway surface. That, of course, of your operation of the vehicle during the forward braking test, again, what, if anything, did you note in regard to the operation of the defense vehicle?
Same as before, that brake pedal was firm. There was no pulsation, no issues.
She's shaking her head. I love how she's just shaking her head. Like
a little bit about a ACM or an airbag control module, correct?
Lead with momentum, with essentially the same momentum. And linear momentum just means something that's in line with.
To your experience with. Now, as far as we talked a little bit earlier in your testimony about roadway evidence, when it comes to your experience with pedestrian collisions, what, if any, relationship does that linear momentum have in relation to roadway evidence that you would
I know there's one
expect to
point
find
where she just lost
at a
it.
scene of a pedestrian collision?
So when a pedestrian strikes a vehicle, they will go in the direction where the vehicle was traveling. So if the vehicle is traveling one way, the pedestrian strikes, it will go essentially that same way prior to those testings.
And what do you recognize that to be?
Those are the Google directions. I put them in a table and put in my report.
And may I approach her?
Are you saying she went back to Fairview that morning or not? Huh? Because you better build that into your map if that's your theory that you just spent time on trying to imply that to the jury.
All right, so I'm going to ask you to take that down for a minute, and I'll see counsel at sidebar, please.
All right, this looks like, let's get a little Andrea here. And go.
So Bev's not happy with something about that. Don't know what exactly, but we just spent yesterday talking about how she was driving around. And now suddenly she's taking direct routes to all these places. How inconsistent can we be here? Are you saying she went back to Fairview that morning or not? Huh? Because you better build that into your map if that's your theory that you just spent time on trying to imply that to the jury.
Right. She was saying,
but you don't account for that because that'll mess up your math.
Because they're saying that she went back to Fairview. She went back to Fairview prior to that. Oh my goodness.
This is getting problematic.
No, she is absolutely correct. She is 100% correct. Their whole theory of her going back to Fairview that morning, and now all of a sudden this guy's dropping, stuff in there that, she went this direct route and that direct route. Oh.
Have you also looked at a mileage or distance? Approximate 2 points, whatever miles, how much of a difference how it is at the beginning, how it changes, recorded as having sustained, according to the medical examiner, what, if any, relationship did those injuries have to you in relation to a pedestrian collision?
Sorry, say it again.
As far as the injuries that you were informed by the medical examiner that Mr. O'Keefe had sustained.
All right, I gotta get some water.
What,
I'll
if
be
any,
right back.
relationship did those injuries have in relation to a pedestrian collision?
They are consistent with a pedestrian collision.
And how so?
Due to, I mean, we break down each injury, due to the arm, the lacerations of the arm from the tail light, the dent where the scratches for his hand could be. Those are something that would be consistent with this, in this particular case, with striking the Lexus.
Now, specifically with reference to this case, what, if any, analysis did you conduct with regard to kinematics?
Yes, I did a kinematics analysis in my report. Kinematics deals with the aspect of motion.
And I'm sorry, if you could expand upon that just a little bit and explain to the jury sort of what a kinematics analysis is.
The tail light caused the arm injuries.
So a kinematics analysis is, that it says, deals with the aspects of motion. Pedestrian crashes get kind of labeled in certain types of how they interact. So in this particular case, I kind of labeled it as it's a forward projection crash with a side swipe. And what I mean by forward projection means that when a pedestrian gets struck by a vehicle, well, basically their principal impact forces are above the pedestrian center of gravity, as in this case where you get the higher back of the vehicle. When you get struck by something like that, it projects you forward in the direction of the vehicle. And in this situation where he gets more struck to the side of the vehicle on the taillight area, that it projected him to forward and then to the left due to this more of a side swipe manner.
Now, with respect to the, you mentioned the height of the vehicle, as far as the shape of the back of the vehicle, what, if any, relationship does that have in regard to you sort of labeling this as a forward projection / side swipe collision?
Yeah, due to it being pretty flat, it's not the front of the vehicle where you have the hood and the pedestrian staying above the hood. It's the back of the vehicle. It's pretty flat and it's pretty higher up.
Now, with respect, you also made aware through your review of the medical examiner's report that there was injury to the back of Mr. O'Keefe's head.
Yes.
And based on your training experience in particular with pedestrian collisions, what, if any, significance did that have in relation to your opinion as to how Mr. O'Keefe interacted with the defendant's vehicle?
So when you look at the damage, he would have interacted with that left side of the vehicle. And when he got struck by the vehicle on the left side, it would have caused his vehicle to rotate kind of counterclockwise. And then when that rotation, he could turn it into his back, and his back could have struck the ground. I noted at the scene that there was asphalt curbing, which could have, somewhere he could have struck his head in there, or somewhere along any of the pavement would have caused damage. Most forward projection crashes have damage on both sides of the body.
Why is that?
Due to them get projected forward, so they get hit from behind, they would have damage to the back, and then when they get projected forward, they get damage to the front. So, I mean, in this case, he got projected and got spun counterclockwise due to where he got impacted the vehicle.
Now, with regard to the vehicle speeds, kinematically speaking, from your analysis in respect to that, what, if anything, can you say in relation to, just in general terms, as far as the pedestrian collision is concerned, how much of that vehicle speed would a pedestrian be assuming in the context of a pedestrian collision with a forward projection?
Forward projection will have almost 100% speed post-impact. And more, like I said, in this case, it's more the fact that he didn't get 100%, like his center of mass didn't strike the vehicle, so he would not have been thrown 100% of the vehicle speed post-impact. His right side would have sustained the vehicle speed, and that would cause him to spin out. So as opposed to traditional forward projection, if he was right there in the middle of the vehicle, he would have got projected forward, and he would have sustained, his full body would have sustained the vehicle speed.
Is that abnormal as far as the sort of forward projection type of pedestrian collision? And what I'm going to ask is specifically to not having any contact with sort of the bottom of the vehicle or being run over or something like that. Can you expound upon that a little?
Yeah, due to the side swipe manner that projection off to the left, wouldn't show that he would have been, the car would have ran over him and traveled over him. Like traditional.
Yes,
The car would.
I'm going to ask you to slow down just a little bit.
Sorry. Yes, so due to the situation in this scene where he got projected to the left and body rotated, it would have rotated away from the vehicle and his body would not have traveled under the vehicle as you do in like a lot of traditional forward projection crashes. The vehicle would get tracked forward ahead of the vehicle and that vehicle could possibly travel over that pedestrian.
So that
So you're saying
is
it
not
didn't
what you
happen?
found in this particular pedestrian collision, correct?
Correct.
Look at that.
I know you mentioned it a couple times, but if I could ask you to just expound a little bit when you're talking about center of mass.
Oh my gosh,
and
I
how
know.
that relates between sort of a pedestrian and a vehicle in a pedestrian type.
Okay, dogs are all out. Such a nice, it's really nice. We've had a really, really bad summer so far. It has been crap. And of course, I left my water in the other room. Hang on. I'll be right back. Darn it. Yeah. I have water. I'm good. Hydrating. Okay. Yep, so many could be answers in this thing. Oops. Eh. 3D printed phone holder is now okay. More. There, so I don't kick it with my foot again. Oh my goodness! All right.
Pedestrians, almost every object has a center mass. Pedestrians is the same. So if a
Almost
pedestrian center
every
mass
object?
is essentially obviously the
What
half the
object does
body,
not have a
and
center
you would
of
also
mass?
put down.
Oh my goodness.
Pedestrians, almost every object has a center mass. Pedestrians is the same. So if a
Almost
pedestrian center
every
mass
object?
is essentially obviously the
What
half the
object does
body,
not have a
and
center
you would
of
also
mass?
put down is around the chest area, just below the chest area would be the center of mass for a pedestrian, and they all range based on height and body shape.
Sex?
Oh my goodness. What object doesn't have a center mass?
So where on someone's body typically would a center of mass be located?
Usually just around the chest area or just below the chest area.
Around your
The
hips.
Canton Police Department.
Then it's about your waist.
You mentioned that, or you testified earlier at some point that you went outside rear acceleration braking test, correct?
Correct.
And in fairness to the defendant, at this particular time when this visibility analysis was conducted, it was during the
So like I said, it was mostly done when we were trying to see what a pedestrian would, an operator would see a pedestrian. It was recorded on the crime scene.
What is it with all of the? I mean, I have multiple witnesses have done that, and I don't. I mean, maybe I do it and I don't realize it, but I don't think so because it just seems like they do it all like right before they talk. It's. I don't. Yeah, right. Oh no, that'd be a great shirt. What if questions? But that thing, I don't get it.
Trooper recorded it.
That wasn't a good answer.
conducted in this case.
See how the mirrors looked in the dark to see if it was intentional
if
or
at all,
not?
was that memorialized?
It was recorded on the crime scenes. Trooper recorded it.
I get. I can turn your attention just back.
And they're taking out the infotainment system.
What system?
Infotainment system.
Infotainment.
And the last photograph there, what if anything does that depict, sir?
That is the module for the infotainment system.
And
Don't know
What, if any,
Andrew said anything
involvement
about
did
this
you
or
have
not.
in respect to this investigation in regard to the infotainment system?
I didn't have anything. That was Trooper Nick Marinos to the infotainment system in this vehicle.
And you indicate, Your Honor, may I approach?
Yes.
And Your EE, looking at in this photograph, EEP3.
He's trying to run out the clock again, isn't he?
Trooper Paul, do you recognize what's now on the screen? And it's marked
Yes.
598
Yes, I do.
and EP4. Sorry.
Yep, the nav. The nav is there.
And Trooper Paul, do you recognize what's up on the screen as Exhibit 599?
Yes, I do.
And the kinematics of what you were testifying about just a moment ago. You had mentioned that with respect to the injury, this coming to take that down.
Go ahead with your own life. Leave me alone.
System. It's on. Show satellite here. Looks like it says to navigation.
Thank you. This coming to take that down.
Go ahead with your own life. Leave me alone.
That's funny.
With photographs as well as video, is that correct?
Correct.
And the video that was taken, sir, was that in the interior of the vehicle, February 1st, both interior of the vehicle, exterior of the vehicle, is that correct?
So bad.
May I approach again, Your Honor?
Yes.
What do you recognize those to be?
None of it's funny.
They don't. Did they need a photo of the steering wheel? You took them out to inspect the car. They saw the steering wheel for themselves.
And do you recognize what's depicted in those photographs, Trooper?
Yes, I do.
And what do you recognize those to be?
Those are photos from the backup
that's cool.
sensor, backup cameras, and sensor tests.
May I approach again, Your Honor?
Yes.
I want to seek to introduce you.
Also,
Sure,
not all
if you
troopers
could,
have to shave their heads.
Please describe to the jury what we're looking at in this photograph that's now been marked as Exhibit 606.
Yes, this is the view from the operator as they would turn around and look to the back of the vehicle.
Portrayed, or what did you observe on the screen when you placed the vehicle?
They could have done this at the scene, but
yes,
then you'd
so
see how
this
well
has a
you'd be able to
dish,
see that area
straight backup
through the
camera,
windshield.
and also
Cameras on this particular vehicle.
All right, let's get that. Let's get that.
What kind of view was able to be portrayed, or what did you observe on the screen when you placed the vehicle?
They could have done this at the scene, but
yes,
then you'd
so
see how
this has
well
a
you'd be able to
dish,
see that area
straight backup
through the
camera,
windshield,
and also has a
probably even through the
360
back,
overhead view of the
where a
vehicle.
body would be as you were driving by.
And as far as the cameras within this vehicle are
Oh, that's awesome.
just draw the jury's attention, direct the jury's attention to
What was the
where
depth
you're
we
talking
heard?
about as far as the
What
street
did
is
that shirt
concerned,
say?
depicting that.
Shows up in the area where the object that it gets closer to it.
And as far as getting closer to an object, the beeping that you're talking about, it increased in speed or rapidity, is that correct?
Correct.
And how does it, what if anything does it do as far as the volume of the beeping that you?
I guess it would increase.
Yeah, what is?
So if I could ask you to pause there for just a moment. Trooper Paul, during these testing that you were conducting here with the acceleration, reverse braking, all of those things, the highest speeds that you recorded during the course of that testing was 30 miles an hour, is that correct?
Yes.
Christ,
And,
talk
the
to me.
highest
Oh
speed
my
that
God.
was,
Yeah. No, I
contained
know
within
the
that,
cross. The cross is going to be so much better. I thought there was some stuff on this on the
VCH
direct
data
that we
for
could get.
the
But
second or the B.
I mean, when he's on cross talking about, oh yeah, he held his arm out like this, and then that's how the car hit. Oh,
of those two data sets. What was the high?
or, do you have any scientific evidence? What do you mean by scientific evidence? That's I mean, just showing though how absurd this thing is.
Yes. So some hard
Your
braking
Honor, with the
there.
court's permission, may I publish the other video of the interior?
Well, let's show it again. I mean, we can see it from here. You can see it from here. Light, you don't see the running light. That, Lally, to the left side and compare it to. Well, now we see.
There would be no screeching of the.
All right, I'm gonna get this because she sounds like she goes off a little bit, so we use that. Go off, Andrea.
There would be no screeching of the tires.
Yeah, really.
And Ms. Gilman, if you could press play from here.
Yeah. Yes, the what the crime scene said to me.
Mr. Jackson, is this really necessary? Can you move it along? Well, now we see what the broken taillight looks like completely broken, don't we? We now have a nice comparison of the no light whatsoever coming out of that taillight compared to the left side and compared to what we saw on all those videos. So at least you gave us that, Lally.
All right. Yep. Oh, hang on. Oh, I thought I was following you. I'm sorry. My apologies. Good grief. Okay. Yes. I mean, my DMs are open anyway, but I didn't realize I wasn't following you on Twitter. So I am now. I corrected that. Mm-hmm.
Oh, look at that. To the left side.
What different parts of the screen are visible. So occasion to see a video depicting the defense.
She objected. She said, I'm going to allow it. What?
Permission, if I could publish to the jury with the witness on the stand, Exhibit 6, video number 153. Objection, may we approach?
Yes.
She objected. She said, I'm going to allow it. What is he going to, if they hit the car or not? Or if we can see the tail light. Which one are we going to get gaslit about? I mean, the vehicle speed, guys, it comes from